Right, so into the C grade questions now then. So everything you pick up here, if you've got everything else right, is going to be a big bonus. Complete an accurate drawing of triangle PQR in which QR is 14. Well, okay, this has been reduced, so that isn't going to be 14. It doesn't matter because we don't have to measure any other lengths, just angles. PQR is 48 degrees. So I've got a Q and I've got an R, so P is going to be up there somewhere. So PQR, the letter in the middle tells you where the angle is going to be, and PRQ, so P is up there, R is there, Q is there. So let's just do a little sketch so that I know what I'm looking for here, what I'm expecting to get. So 48 degrees is a bit bigger than 45, so it's going to be something like that. And then 67 is going to be a little bit steeper, so that's the sort of shape triangle I'm looking for. So I know what I'm aiming for, so I'm going to make sure that my protractor does that work for me. So I'm going to start at Q, and I'm going to line 0 up along the line. Put the center of the protractor at Q, where we want to draw the angle, and we want this to be 48 degrees. Well, it's not going to go up that way because that's counting backwards. So the counting up is the blue one. 40's there, 50's there, 48 is going to be 2 in. Draw your triangle, and we don't know where that line is going to stop, so we just draw it up the page, and that is 48 degrees. We've then got to get to R, and here we're going to draw a 67 degree angle. Now the 0 is on the wrong side, it has to be lining up along my line, so I've got to turn that around like that. The center of the protractor now is on Q. No, it isn't, sorry, it's on R. And I need to measure 67, I'm counting up. I'm going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 67 is about there. So my ruler joins up from R along and across the line. And where those two cross, I'm going to put a dot and call it P. So that's what it actually going to look like. That was my sketch, so I'm happy that that seems to be sensible. For that question there is 3 marks, 1 mark for the 48 correct, 1 mark for the 67 correct, and 1 mark for completing the triangle and showing me where P is. So total for that page is 7. Okay, so we've got some compass work to do. Where's my compass? Here we go. Construct the angle bisector. So we need to cut this angle in half. So if you've remembered the method, then we're going to take your compass, open it out so far. Doesn't matter how far. What's important is once you've opened it, you keep that distance apart. You then move the point to where it's crossed that line, draw an arc, point where it's crossed that line, draw an arc, and then where the angle, the corner where the angle is, goes through there, is an angle bisector. What that line does is it cuts that exactly in half. So that's one construction, and hopefully you've learnt. An angle of 60 degrees. This is becoming quite a popular question now. Again, we want the angle of 60 degrees from point A. So we want to put the compass point at A and draw our arc like that. Then move the compass point to where the arc crosses the line. Remember, don't change the size of the angle, and draw the arc there. That's going to be 60 degrees. If it was 120, we'd move the point to there and we do it again, but this is just a 60 degree one, so that's all we need to do. And then there is our 60 degree angle. So that job is done. 1 mark for the first couple of arcs, and then 1 mark for the second, and joining it together. And then similarly with this one, 1 mark for the first arc, 1 mark for the second, and joining it together. Question 14. Diagram shows 2 identical squares and 2 identical equilateral triangles. Explain fully how another equilateral triangle will fit exactly into the gap DCH. So, your knowledge that you have to know is that the angles inside the square are all the same, and they're all 90 degrees. And in an equilateral triangle, properties of an equilateral triangle are all the sides are the same, and all the angles are also the same, and they are 60 degrees. So what I've got there already is 90, 60, 90, and 60. So I can work out the gap because I know that the angles around a point all add up to 360. So the angles around C must all add up to 360 degrees. So if those angles already there add up to 300, then that means I can fit an equilateral triangle in there. Total angle covered already will be 90 add 60, 190, 90 add 60 adds 90 add 60. 90 add 60 is 150, 2 lots of 150 are 300 degrees. So the gap is 60 degrees to add up to 180, which will fit another equilateral triangle. So you don't have to say exactly that, but you need to make sure those things are covered. What's the angle inside a square? What's the angle inside an equilateral? What do they all add up to? What must everything around that point add up to? And then you're okay. So marks for that. So there's 1 mark for pointing out the 60 degrees. There's 1 mark for pointing out the 90 degrees. There's 1 mark for the method of adding those all together out of 360, and then 1 mark for your explanation, which is there. So total for that page: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah. Agatha and Bryn each bought some pens. Each pen Agatha bought cost £2.20. Each pen Bryn bought cost £1.40. Altogether, the cost of the pens was £13. How many pens did they buy altogether? So, if you add those two together to find the cost of one set of pens, hang on. Right, okay, so £13 altogether. So Agatha's pens are going to go up $2.20. 440, 660, 880, and so on. Brins pens are going up 140 plus 280 plus 420 plus 560, and so on. And we're looking for a combination which is going to add up to £13. So we are looking at, what have we got there? That's 10. £5.60 and £4.40. It's £10. I'm looking for £880, £560. £880, £4.20. That comes to £13. So 1 pen, 2 pen, 3 pen, 4 pens. So 4 lots of Agatha's pens and 3 lots of Bryn's pens come to £13. It's the only combination there that will come to £13. So that's Ags, that's Bryn. So 4 plus 3 Ag Bryn equals 7 pens. So for that you're going to have 1 mark for working out the total costs of Agatha's pens, depending how many she's bought. 1 mark for working out the total cost of Bryn's pens, however they are marked. Then 1 mark for working out their cost, their sum to 13, and then turning that into 7 pence. Question 16. In Newtory, the mean daily rainfall for the first week in April was 3.8 centimetres. Comparing this first week with the following week, it rained 1 centimetre more on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday than it did the first week, and 1 centimetre less on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday of the second week. The same amount on the Saturday of the second week as on the Saturday of the first week. So because it's rained, whatever is gained on those days, the same amount that it's gained has been lost on those days. So if there's a 3 centimetre gain there, that's cancelled out with the 3 centimetre loss there. And because then it rained the same amount on the other 2 Saturdays, the mean is unchanged. There's no extra. So the mean is the same because the gain on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is cancelled out by the same losses on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So there's no change. So 1 mark for saying it's the same, and 1 mark for your explanation. 6 marks for the page. Part B. In Summerfield, the rainfall for each of the days was measured. The results are summarised in the table below. Calculate an estimate for the mean daily rainfall for the 30 days. Okay, so this is estimating the mean. It's a standard method that you need to use. So let's just check that you can remember how to do that. So you need to find the midpoint. So the midpoint okay, so what we're doing is assuming we know there are 5 days between there and there. We don't know exactly what they are, so we estimate by saying they're all halfway between a half and 1.5, which is 1. There are 11 of them halfway between 1.5 and 2.5, which is 2. 13 of them between 2.5 and 3.5. The midpoint is 3, and 1 halfway between there and there, which is 4. We then multiply those, because what we're then saying is we know that there are 5 days where we're estimating 1 centimetre of rainfall, so in total there will be 5 centimetres there. Then there are 11 days where we're estimating 2 centimetres of rainfall, 13 days where we're estimating 3, and 1 day where we're estimating 4. We then add those together to find the total rainfall. Which is 70. So the mean is going to be the total rainfall that we're estimating to be 70, and then we divide that by the number of days, which is 30. Now the most common mistake here is to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, because there are 4 numbers. That's not what you do. It's what we've done is we've estimated there are 70 centimetres of rain over 30 days. So the mean is 70 over 30, which is 2.3 centimetres. And that would seem to be sensible, because the mean should be around about the middle, and we can see there that 2.3 centimetres has got a lot there. The modal class is the one that occurs the most, which is the one that happens for 13 days, which is 2.5. So that's the modal class. And the median class is the middle, so we're looking for the 15th. And the 15th, the first 5 are going to be in there. The next 11 are in there, so we're into the 16th day there. So the 15th day is in this one, which is 1.5 less than or equal to R, less than 2.5. If you think, yeah, I can get my head around that, then go on to the foundation topic page and print off some work on estimating the mean of grouped data, and make sure that you can practice that, because it's usually worth 4 or 5 marks. Okay, so the marks for that, 1 mark for the midpoint, so 1 mark for doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 mark for the method of multiplying by the midpoint, 1 mark for adding them up and dividing by the number of days, and 1 mark for getting 2.3 centimetres. 1 mark for 2.5 to 3.5, and 1 mark for the 1.5 to 2.5. Question 17. An internet company offering money exchange displays the conversion exchange tables as shown below. Right, so let's see if we can work out what that means. So if we are in this square here, then we're saying if we want to change from £1 into dollars, I'm going to multiply by £1, 1.64395, and that will give me Canadian dollars. If I'm over here, if I want to change Canadian dollars into Australian dollars, then I'm going to multiply by from Australian dollars to Canadian dollars, I'd multiply by that. Using exchange rates from the table, calculate, so I'm changing 200 US dollars into Australian dollars. So here is US dollars to change to Australian dollars, so I'm doing 1.09137 from the table, and that's, so every US dollar is going to cost me that much, and I'm going to buy 200 of them. So that's the sum that I'm going to do. Equals, so that's going to be £218. And we're in money, so we go to 2 decimal places, and the next number is 4, which is smaller than 5, so it's going to be £218.27. How many Canadian dollars were exchanged to give 250 euros? So to turn Canadian dollars into euros, I'm going to be multiplying by 0.67. So I'm going to divide, because I'm going the other way then, I'm going to be doing 250 divided by 0.6775. So it's going to be 369.73 Canadian dollars. So marks for that one. 1 mark for the method, 1 mark for the answer, and then for this one the same, 1 mark for the method, 1 mark for the answer. Total for that page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. And then we haven't finished with the table, so let's see what evil things are going to make us do next. Fill in the 2 gaps indicated with dotted lines in the following exchange table. What are we doing here then? So we can exchange from a dollar, Hong Kong dollar, to a euro. And we know that the exchange rate from euro to yen is 133.5. So 1 euro is 133.5 yen. What this is doing is turning it back, so we're not actually using that table. We've got to now go from yen to euros. So to go from yen to euros, we've got to divide 1 euro by 133.5 yen. Which is going to be pretty small. So it's going to be 0.007 5 if we round that up. So that's going to be 0.0075. And then the Hong Kong dollar, we know that $1 is 0.90147 euro. So to find €1, we have to divide the dollar by that. Which is, this is a horrible question because you look at that and you'll think you're wrong. But that is the right thing to do. So 1 divided by 0.09147, which is 10. Copied it down wrong. 0.090147. Again, 1 divided by 0.09147, 11.09. So that's a nasty question, only worth 3 marks, and it's there really for the higher tier. So what we're going to get for that is 17B. So you're going to get 1 mark for either of those divisions, and then 1 mark for each of those answers. Question 18, final question. The total surface area of 1 cube is 54 centimeters squared. 4 of these cubes are joined together to make a cuboid as shown in the diagram below. Calculate the total surface area of the cuboid shown in the diagram. Now, surface area is how much area is exposed to the air. Okay, so if you have 1 cube, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and underneath 6 faces. So the area of each face would be the surface area, 54, divided by 6. So each of these faces will have an area of 9 centimeters squared. So if 4 of these are joined together, what you're going to have is 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. So those are the 2 faces you can see, but there'll be another face underneath and a face behind. So there will be 4 lots of 9 per cube, so 36 per cube, plus then the 9 that's on that side and that 9 there. So what you're going to have is 4 9s are 36 per cube, and we've got 4 cubes, plus that 9 plus that 9. So we've got 36 times 4 plus 18, 162 square centimeters. Let me just explain that one more time for you. The total surface area of 1 cube is going to be so the surface area is the total area of each face on the cube. So there are 6 faces, so if the total surface area is 54, then it's going to be each one is going to be 54 divided by 6 is 9 square centimeters. When we join them together, where those faces are joined, there won't be a surface area because they're just joining. So if you consider each one of these middle cubes, that's going to have a surface area of 9. So is that. Underneath is another 9. On the back is another 9. So each of those middle ones is going to have a surface area of 4 9s 36. Okay, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes where you've got that wraparound 36, and then on top of which you've got the 2 exposed ends, which are also 9, giving you the 162. So for that, you're going to have 1 mark for doing the 54 divided by 6, and 1 mark for getting 9. Then you're going to get 1 mark for how you establish what you've done there, and 1 mark for the answer. Total for the page 7. And then finally, calculate the volume of the cuboid shown in the diagram. So if each face has got an area of 9 and it's a cube, that means it must be a 3 by 3 square, which means because it's a cube, the volume of each cube is going to be 3 by 3 by 3. Okay, so each cube has side 9, square root 9 equals 3 centimeters. 3 times 3 is 9. So volume of the cube will be 3 times 3 times 3. Yeah, what we've got is 3, 3, 3. Sorry, 3 that way, 3 deep, 3 high. So the volume is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27 cubic centimeters. And we've got 4 cubes, so the total volume will be 4 cubes, each with a volume of 27. So 4 lots of 27, 108 cubic centimeters. And the marks for that is 1 mark for the 3 centimeter side, 1 mark for the volume of 27, and 1 mark for multiplying that by 4. 3 for the page. And that's November 2013. Not a bad paper. Couple of tricky ones at the end, but on the whole that was pretty fair.